Three cheers and a tiger for the New York Gothams! Hurrah! 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 It's basically to teach people the history of the game. A lot of people have seen Civil War reenactors and they're very familiar with them, but they don't know that they're actually baseball recreators from about the same period.
Brad Shaw, aka Brooklyn, is an old-time baseball player, and today, his team, the Flemington Neshannock, are playing the New York Gotham on a field at Howell's Living History Farm.
It's idyllic. It really is. You have an 18th century farm in the background. Is really nothing modern around you. You know, so this is the perfect place to play. Just on a pasture, you just make the field and you just hit the ball with the bat.
Well, it's not that simple. They're playing 1864 baseball, so the rules are a little different and you won't see any gloves on the players.
It wasn't a rule, but they did not think that they needed gloves. The ball is a little softer, and it was a little softer back in the 1860s. Foul ball! The biggest difference that you'll see out there, besides that we're not wearing gloves, is that you can catch the ball on one bounce for an out. And that's fair balls or foul balls.
Even though you can catch a ball on a bounce,
Strike two!
The umpire still makes a few bad calls, but he looks really good doing it.
You're in the Victorian era, you're in the 1860s, and people are very polite to one another for the most part. We're still playing to win, and we're still trying to win as much as possible. But we'll try to use very, very polite language most of the time. Even when we're addressing the umpire, we'll say sir a lot, well played sir, nice catch sir, things like that.
And if the players aren't polite, the umpire can make a call.
Whenever somebody would curse, or whenever somebody would get out of hand or would yell at the umpire or something like that, ball to dash! The umpire had the ability to assess a fine. In fact, in the very first game, in 1846, between the New York Nine and the New York Knickerbockers, there was a fine assessed for somebody cursing by the umpire.
The ball they're using for this game is called a lemon peel ball. It looks different and it's much softer from the hard balls we use today.
And it's one piece of leather. And the reason why it's called a lemon peel ball is that it's the way that when you sewed it, it would come up like this, sort of like you were peeling a lemon.
And their baseball uniforms are an American history lesson in themselves.
The uniform is copied over the firemen's uniforms of the time. The reason is that that was the type of uniform at the time, and when they wanted uniforms for baseball teams, that's what they copied. This is called a shield or a bib. And the reason why this was popular at the time is that you could remove these. You could remove this and actually join another team or a fire company. Right, that day, all you would have to do is change your hat and change the bib, and you know, and you could be on another team. So these are very popular at the time.
And even if you're not a huge baseball fan, the games can be very exciting because on these fields, you never really know what will happen.
Games are almost always high scoring. It also depends on the field. I mean, this is the first game that was ever played on this field. This is absolutely a virgin field. It was just mowed a few days ago. So if the ball bounces, it's going to bounce over somebody's head. So that leads to high scores. Back then, you could have games, it was very common to have games 45-20 or 50-30 or something like that. We almost never see a game like that because we are much more skilled at catching the ball because we grew up in modern times. They were just learning the game. Most of these people were actually what we call as muffins, people that were unskilled.
So if you're interested in being a muffin yourself and tossing around the old lemon peel,
yeah!
Or if you want to check out an old-time baseball game, you can go to the Flemington Neshannock's website for more info. But get there early to catch Casey at bat.
Oh, somewhere in this favored land the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Thank you, everybody.
Coming up.
We all thought he was like nuts, like literally.
need to go to the mental institute.
And coming up later,
it's very dangerous.
Me personally, I'm cool with it because I'm good at it, but I think young kids shouldn't be doing it.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're going to follow the program through just like we planned. Marching band, start off with drums.
The Cove Road School's Marching Mustangs are rehearsing for their annual spring concert.
Look here, eyes. Marching band, leading off the drummers. Marching band music. You'll go to your seats, concert band. Then we'll begin the performance and do the rest of the show, okay?
And band director Mike Hernandez has his hands full trying to contain the kids' excitement.
Look at my hand. Look at my hand. Excuse me? Look at my hand, please. No, I'm waiting for you to look at my hand. We've discussed this. You know what this means. I don't like whistles anymore. You're performers.
But they're excited for a good reason. You see, the drum line is about to debut an instrument that's never been used in a band before. That's right, buckets. Pickle buckets, to be precise. An instrument born out of necessity.
105 kids signed up for my band, and 35 of them were drummers.
But the school only had 6 drum kits, and no money to buy more.
It really bothered me. I had a dream, and the dream was, what can I do? I woke up one morning with an idea of buckets. So what I did is I went to Lowe's and Home Depot. I found every possible bucket of metal and plastic that I could possibly find. I took them into the garden center with a variety of sticks, because that also changes the sound.
When the kids first heard of their teacher's plan, however,
We all thought he was like nuts, like literally need to go to the mental institute.
Well, I thought he was nuts, and I thought like it was a different person, like a clone or something.
when he showed his drummers what he'd made, they quickly changed their tune.
When we first saw them, they looked like real drums, and then when we hit them, they sounded good.
Like we started hitting them with mallets, and then we just started hitting them with the drumsticks, and it just sounds really good. And after a lot of practice, it actually sounds like one drum.
35 drum kits would cost around $30,000. Mike equipped his band for about $2,000 for cymbals, PVC pipe, and fittings. A local Burger King donated the pickle buckets.
We have 4 models made: a single, a duo, the trio that you saw today, and we have just created a quad. So we have 4 different models for different age children and different body structures. So we're able to actually imitate and duplicate what real marching bands are like, drums are like.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mustangs! Drummers, flutes, let's go!
Welcome everyone, all of our Cove Road guests to the annual spring concert.
You gotta hear what they said about me. Oh, Maron. I think your brain was damaged. You're crazy. He was nuts. I loved it.
And so, apparently, did the audience.
They've learned a lot. This is just not a gimmick. As what I tried to show the school today is the children actually learned a lot of skills from this. They were able to shadow me exactly, as you saw the last 2 players. They learned how to socially interact, be part of a group, organization. All of those skills go together. And I'm glad I have the opportunity for 34 years to be part of this education community.
Maybe the Marching Mustangs should change their name. How about
The Bucketeers.
maybe not.
You see me getting up there being a rock star. It's like, she's using buckets. Yeah, I think it'll be fun if you could actually use those on in the real world instead of just in school.
Hopefully it gets around the world and everyone starts using them, so we could share Mr. H's dream with everyone in the world.
I think it's ridiculous.
It's unnecessary.
I think it's ridiculous. How can you look at the road and look at your text messages?
I think it's very dangerous.
Me personally, I'm cool with it because I'm good at it, but I think young kids shouldn't be doing it though.
Maybe you have several sets of eyes, I don't know.
It is definitely dangerous. Distracted driving, putting makeup on, being on the phone, anything, it's all bad.
I see people doing it, and sometimes I want to stop them or call the police.
I try to get my husband not to do it, but he does. He almost hit somebody one time texting while driving.
All of a sudden you're so accessible and you have to see your email or your text, and we all do it, and it's just like, people can wait.
It definitely is unsafe, and I think almost everybody I know, including me, does it occasionally.
I don't really think it's a good idea, although I sometimes do it, but I've been trying to do it a lot less.
And I know people will say, oh, well, the radio and the kids or whatever, but texting is something that takes your eyes off the road, it takes your hands off the wheel. I think it's
a safety hazard.
I don't text when I drive, but I use my BlackBerry when I drive, and I don't see it as a problem at all.
No, I've never done it actually.
I text sometimes while riding on public transit.
No, I stopped. Oprah.
No, I do have a bike, but I don't text while I'm on the bike.
I would say it should be like a huge fine. It should be like as much as a DWI.
Yeah. A $20 fine is not going to discourage you.
No, I think it should be more.
Not really.
$20, no way. It has to be steeper.
I mean, just in DC, you can get like a $100 ticket for parking, you know. I mean, I think it should be more than that.
What? I mean, $20?
Maybe, but it'll take a while. Maybe the fine should be stiffer.
I don't think it's going to affect, but I think it's good. I think there should be, people are on their phones and stuff like that, I think they should be charged for it.
If it's more advertised, I think it would.
Nope.
And if we really realize how many people can die, get killed, how many children can be killed because of texting while driving, then maybe more people will stop, but not for $20 now.
It's always been so clear. Honey, do